Last Thursday, I was walking down the stairs of O'Neill, and in front of me were two of my fellow BC students. They stopped in front of a flyer that said Black Lives Matter. As I got closer, I could tell they were making fun of the flyer. One of them posed in front of the flyer, while the other one took a picture. As they walked away, one of them asked, "Should we caption the photo? Are you sure?" To those who don't understand why we're speaking out, here's an open letter.
The guy who passed me on Neil Plaza and said I was taking this way too seriously.
To the Facebook commenter who thinks that we're blowing this out of proportion.
To the professor who thinks this isn't about race.
To the roommate who doesn't understand why I attend rallies and protests.
To the person who responds to the Black Lives Matter movement with, "I thought all lives matter."
To the mother who says Michael Brown and Eric Garner are isolated incidents.
To the friend who says I'm too leftist, as if this is about political opinions rather than human dignity.
The deaths of Michael Brown and Eric Garner are the result of a greater systematic issue, police violence against black men and women. In the past 2 weeks, in two separate deliberations, grand juries declined to indict the police officers who killed both Michael Brown and Eric Garner.
By declining to indict in these two cases, our criminal justice system determined that it's not even a possibility that either Officer Darren Wilson or Daniel Pantaleo committed a crime in killing these black men.
A national outcry has ensued as a result of these killings and their lack of punishment because they are yet another example of injustice within a greater pattern of racial inequality in America.
This isn't about whether or not the shooter is racist, and this isn't about whether or not the police officers are guilty. This is about the fact that in our country, recognizing the humanity of black men and women comes secondary to public safety, as if black lives are not counted in those worth saving.
Black Lives Matter. Why do we chant this? Many have claimed that the phrase is overly aggressive, that it's exclusionary, or that it responds to an issue that doesn't even exist. Why have the movements of protests taken up this saying as their rallying cry? It is because in our society, and specifically in our criminal justice system, black lives do not seem to matter. These two victims are only two on a long list of names that will not even make local news.
Young black males are 21 times more likely to be shot dead by police than their white counterparts.
Blacks are 6 times as likely to be incarcerated as their white peers charged with the same offenses.
In captured federal data, the 1,217 deadly police shootings from 2010 to 2012 show that blacks aged 15 to 19 were killed by police at a rate of 31.17 per million. White males in the same age range were killed by police at a rate of 1.47 per million.
For you, this may just be a statistic, but for many black men and women in America, including your fellow students, faculty, and staff, this is a reality they are forced to live every single day.
To those who find themselves outside of the movement, we implore you to realize that these are not individual instances of police brutality, but rather the result of a flawed, racist system. We live in a society that responds to the death of a teenager, of a father, with a list of reasons to justify their killer's actions, instead of wondering how it's possible that we could find justification at all.
We all have a responsibility to fight against unjust systems, because when anybody in this country is not being treated equally under the law, that is an issue that affects everyone. For these reasons, we all need to both believe and urgently assert Black Lives Matter.
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 Black Lives Matter.